This is the G.I.Joe Classified Series retro figures of the Baroness and the Lady Jaye. This is going to be a comparison video. I felt I didn't really need to do a in-depth detailed review of both of these figures since they are basically just recolors with a retro feel to them. I wanted to say how brilliantly Hasbro played the G.I. Joe fans and collectors. Initially, I was thinking, and I thought that once I've gotten these two new versions of the figures, that it would be so easy to just go off and sell off these previous versions. But it looks like I'm keeping both of them, and these are the reasons why. First off, let's talk about the Baroness. The Baroness is the exact same figure, same mold, but just recolored in a more glossy, darker black plastic. The head sculpt is the same. The glasses have been done in a more simpler fashion. The gold guns are now black, and instead of the motorcycle guns, we are getting repacked guns from the Cobra Trooper, Cobra Officer, which is a shame because they could have given us a non-Nerf looking gun, and because this is the retro collector line, but they didn't. So, you know, what can we do, right? We have to get this because the artwork looks fantastic. It is a throwback to the 1980s 3.75 inch, 3 3/4 figures that had the same box art, and you're just gonna get sucked into getting it because it just looks so nice. Now, do you keep one or the other? I don't think so. I think you keep both if you're a big fan of the Baroness. This set has a great motorcycle, and the figure isn't bad. It's a very modern deco of the Baroness, and yet here you get the original classic looking Baroness with a more sultry looking face sculpt, if I may add. This is more like a secretary look. This is more like a vixen look. So they're both great, and I think I'm going to end up keeping them. And with that's the reason I haven't actually gone off and opened this one. I know I have a rule now about keeping Hasbro figures mint on card, mint in sealed box, because you got to check if you got the right one. But I don't know. It just looks so pretty. I might open this figure up later down the line, but right now I'm keeping it in package, and it looks great. It's the exact same figure, just colored differently with different weapons. And it looks great. I can't decide which one's better. Obviously, this one will look better, but this one just looks so cool. So, keeping both of them. On to Lady Jaye. This was, I thought, going to be much easier than the Baroness because, you know, if I'm a big fan of the character like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, I tend to keep all versions of the figure. I try to, but the Lady Jaye, I'm a fan of Lady Jaye, not that big of a fan of Lady Jaye as compared to the Baroness. And I thought this was going to be very simple, but it turns out it's a lot more difficult to choose between the two. This modern version of the figure has a really cool backpack. She's got 2 spears, and she's got that interchangeable wig. And I think that's the main selling point of this figure, which this figure does not have. Sure, the old original figure did not have an interchangeable head sculpt. The head sculpt of Lady Jaye always wore a cap in the old 80s figure, and the color scheme is just absolutely brilliant. It takes you back to the 80s. This one has a more modern look, which I tend to prefer for some reason, but I do like the throwback. As such, I don't think I can get rid of one or the other. I think I'm going to end up keeping both, because the nostalgia of this figure with the silver spear, the old classic backpack, that video camcorder, and the whole light green color is just screaming 80s Lady Jaye. And at the same time, the new more modern looking version is just so brilliant. I really enjoyed this figure. So it looks like I'm going to be keeping both versions of these figures, which is annoying because I thought I was going to be able to give up one over the other. Let me just point out one other thing that Hasbro did play very well. I was completely expecting the card backs to be like the Star Wars Kenner retro card backs, and instead we get this flimsy sort of, it's the quality of the box insert for Transformers. That's how flimsy and soft it is. And as such, if you have this thing shipped and the shipper or the vendor or the seller of the figure isn't as meticulous with the figure, with handling these things, they're going to ship it to you with some creases and all that. And the card backs are just very prone to creasing, and I'm hurting. I'm really hurting for those who got these figures shipped from Walmart and all that, and the packaging was just all crumpled up. It hurts to see that, but I was absolutely expecting this kind of quality card back, but we get Transformers insert type of card backs, which sucks. But again, well played, Hasbro, because they know that collectors are going to go for it. They're going to buy it anyway because of the fantastic nostalgia artwork that it comes with. So with that, I would like to conclude this quick and dirty comparison review to Hasbro, saying that I salute you, Hasbro, for brilliantly playing us. Well played. You got to our nostalgia. You got to our emotions. We have no choice but to buy this less than premium standard of quality you're dishing out with your recolors. You know, you're charging an arm and a leg for these repaints. They're store exclusives. They're difficult to find. The least you could have done is just made them very premium. But you still decided to go cheap, and you're right. You played it very well because we were still going to buy it, despite being cheap and store exclusives and all that. So bravo, Hasbro. Well played. It looks like I'm going to be bamboozled to buying even more of these repaints because of the nostalgia factor. And I can't do anything about it. Yeah, I can just not buy it, but I can't. I grew up with these things. And I decided to quit on the 3.75-inch scaled G.I. Joes, only to be sucked right back in to G.I. Joes with these classified series. So, well, very well played. The praise goes to you, Hasbro. Well deserved. Brilliant play on these classified series. Let me know what you guys think of these new retro carded store exclusive, supposedly premium exclusive retro card back figures of Baroness and Lady Jaye. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. The figures are going to get, pains me to say it, but they're going to get a 10 out of 10, even though they only deserve like a 7 or a 6 because of the crappy quality of the card backs and the lack of weapons thereof. And I'm going to give them a 10 because I just love them. I'm a sucker for these things. Thanks for watching.